Today we'll be looking at these, the new Asetek Gen 2 Invicta Pedals, which is of course their flagship pedals, their ooh, mamma mia, wow, 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 wee wow pedals. And yeah, this T.H.O.R.P cylinder on the back, trust me, it does change these pedals completely. And I absolutely love these set of pedals. However, these pedals cost $849 or euros. I mean, this is definitely flagship pricing. And yeah, do I think it warrants that price tag? Yes, yes I do. This is an absolute fantastic set of pedals. And I'll show you why. In the grand scheme of things, for a hydraulic set of pedals, you are normally paying $1,000 plus. So I don't think the price is outrageous. You know, yeah, definitely well built, and 100% these have been enhanced from the Gen 1 Invictus, which I have here in a minute, and we're going to be making a few comparisons anyway. Let's go! Just before we get started, the necessary disclaimer. Asetek SimSport did send this very nice set of pedals my way, so that I can make a review for you. Now, I also am affiliated with Asetek, which means if you click on one of my links below, they know that I've sent you their way, and because of that, they said a little bit of moolah my way, at no extra cost to you. In fact, I've got a code, SimCircuit. You put that in at checkout, and you are saving yourself 5%. It's a win-win situation. Of course, don't just assume by using my code that you are getting the best price. Asetek does use a lot of resellers worldwide, and I know from personal experience myself, I live here in the United of Kingdoms. It is cheaper for me to buy from my local distributor, and I save myself quite a lot of money on shipping rather than buying directly from Asetek themselves, even with my discount code. So yeah, shop about, see where you can, you know, find them the best price. If you do happen to use one of my links, it is very much appreciated. What means more to me than any other, more than any affiliate link, is simply a like and a subscribe. That there helps me more than you can imagine. Thank you very much. Let's go. As I mentioned earlier, these pedals here will set you back $849 or euros respectively, and you can save yourself a little bit of money if you do not want the split version. You can then pay for the version that is attached, one solid piece of pedals. Those will set you back $799 or euros. Now, I myself do like the split version. I like to be able to space my brake and my pedal out, and it just feels more comfortable to me. If you're going to add a clutch onto the set of pedals, yeah, space, you're going to have less space to work with, and then yeah, that is fine. I can drive with it. Of course, these pedal faces, you can also move them in and outwards to provide you that little bit more space. If you want to invert your pedals, it is important that you buy the split version. These here you can mount upside down, and they can be used inverted. So if you do think in the future that you might just flip your pedals upside down, then yeah, you're going to have to pay that little $50 more to buy yourself the split version, so that you'll be able to, you know, invert your pedals. I just very quickly want to discuss build quality. Listen, the build quality is fantastic. You can tell everything is made nice, everything is nice and stiff, everything is put together nicely. Now, I know from personal experience, I bought my very first set of Invicta pedals myself with my own money. It was a massive decision for me. I wanted to go either Asetek, or I wanted to buy the Usingveld Ultimates. And yeah, at that time, Asetek did not have a track record when it came to, you know, reliability and, you know, customer service. But as the years have progressed, I mean, Asetek, honestly, top-notch team. I have seen them help people outside of their warranty. That speaks volumes. Now, I'm not going to say that, listen, if something happens to your product and you're outside of warranty, that they are going to help you. I'm sure this is a case-by-case basis. But, yeah, I've seen Andre, the CEO of the company, take time out of his day responding to issues on Facebook posts. I mean, you know, this is a guy sitting reclining somewhere on a yacht, and then he thinks, okay, let me just have a quick nosy here and reply to some issues. And he's like, listen, call the support team, we're going to sort you out. So yeah, yes, these pedals are expensive, but will they last you for a full 10 years? I'm sure they will. Asetek has tested these pedals to 1 million revolutions or inputs. They've got this machine, that pumps and pumps and pumps.
We are pushing with 90 bars.
They made it to 1 million revolutions. I mean, that is crazy. So build quality, yeah, 100%. The only little issue I had was with this hole, this mounting hole that you can see over there is this screw here actually makes it very, very difficult for me to get my mounting hole through onto these pedals. They have obviously used the exact same base they had in the original Invictas, and yeah, I'm sure in the original Invictas this arm here was not an issue for them. So now I did find that it was very, very difficult. I did manage to get a screw in there, but if you put this flat on a flat surface, it is impossible to get a screw in there. My advice is first put in your screw and then mount your pedals, if that makes sense. But yeah, other than that, build quality, top notch, as you would expect for the price of these pedals. Before we get into the bulk of this review, and I actually show you the brake test and show you where these pedals really, really shine, let me just explain to you some of the new differences between the Gen 1 and the Gen 2, because some of these changes are a little bit subtle. However, they have had a major impact on how these Invictas perform. These Invictas over here, using this red elastomer in this cylinder, you needed to be, some steroid junkie cranked up on speed to be able to reach the second stage of braking with a red elastomer. Even using the light green, which is the lightest elastomer on these Gen 1 pedals, after an hour of racing, started to give your leg a little bit of a workout. However, now on these Gen 2 pedals with this new T.H.O.R.P system, listen, it is day and night. The pedals still perform the same way. It is still the same super accurate set of pedals. However, now reaching that second stage of braking is considerable, and I mean considerable easier. This is an elastomer that I would never ever even have used on these Invictas. It just was nigh impossible. Like I said, to get to that second stage of braking. Whereas now, I can even use this elastomer and I can get to the second stage of braking. Yes, it is still hard to get there with this red elastomer, but with a new attack point, as Asetek calls it, attack point, it's just they made an extra hole here in the pedal's arm, where as you can see here, I've lowered my brake cylinder. I'm not using this top hole, and that actually makes the pedal even softer again, so it's even easier for you to push the pedal. Now my favorite setup on the brake is this one here currently. I've got the yellow elastomer in there, which is right in the middle, and then I also like the my attack point at the bottom. I use the short travel, I don't like the long travel, but this is the amazing thing. When I'm driving in dirt rally, I do want longer pedal travel, and now you've got that 10 millimeters extra compared to these Invictas, which doesn't sound like a lot, but under your foot it's a noticeable difference. But yeah, when I jump into dirt rally now, it takes me 20 seconds. I come to my box of accessories, which all the elastomers is now included. You get your extra springs for your throttle, but most importantly, here's your long travel kit. And it takes me 30 seconds to unwind this cap, put in the light green, or this dark green. This is the lightest one, by the way, but this light green one, and I put the other end in, boom, and that is me off and away. And now I've got a nice spongy brake, and that is what I prefer in a rally car. And if I were to go drifting or whatever in normal road cars, this is a setup I would use. With this original Invictas, as you can see, the way this is mounted for me on my rig, it would have been very difficult. I first had to remove my pedals, then unscrew this back cap before I had access to changing the elastomer. So that's a very positive change. Yeah, other than that, the only real change they've made on these pedals is the color. You can see this orange over here is a little bit more of a vivid color compared to this dull orange over here. And yeah, I do like it. I do definitely, out of the two, I prefer the darker orange to this, you know, more dull orange over here. But yeah, the pedals themselves, as you can see, they still look very much the same. They still got the same Asetek branding. They still got this beautiful arch of a pedal. I love this arch, you know, it just looks very, very nice and sleek. And yeah, they present very well on my rig. With these LED lights, you get LED lights. Now, these LED lights are pretty much useless if you're trying to get telemetry data like yellow flags, you know, car on the left, car on the right. There, no. Your feet cover these so you don't see any of them lights. However, when you're standing back and you are, you know, admiring your setup, definitely having that extra light strip, it adds to the ambiance, you know, of your setup. Of course it does. So I do like that. I am busy editing this video, and it came to my attention that perhaps I should explain to you just what that second stage of braking is, because a lot of you watching here perhaps would never have used a set of pedals like the Asetek Invictas that offer that second stage of braking. So quite simply, what it is you have your elastomer, which is this one here that Asetek provides you. And then with a new T.H.O.R.P system, you get these two metal bits that go on either side of this elastomer, as you can see. The first stage of braking is the elastomer. As this elastomer, you know, squishes inwards, these two metal bits will eventually meet. And that is when the second stage of braking starts. So you can see here, if I were to squish these two together, like so, you see, so that is how much travel the pedal will have, and that is the amount this elastomer will squish. When you squish it enough, it will end up metal on metal, and then it is like hitting a rock wall. Doesn't matter how hard you push your pedal's not going to move any further. However, the hydraulic pedal, it still picks up all the pressure that your leg puts on it. So if you push that a little bit harder, it still gets picked up in the software. So yeah, best way, let me just show you. But that is in a nutshell what the second stage of braking is, and it is absolutely fantastic. Just a very quick live preview. Yeah, you can see we are in the software, and yeah, as I'm pushing down, you can see there the pressure being picked up in the software. Now, this is the first stage. See this spongy stage? That is the elastomer squishing. At this stage here, see now where my foot is? I can't move my foot any further back. It is now the metal on metal, and I can't go any further. But even though I can't actually physically move the pedal any further, the software still picks up the pressure that my leg puts on the pedal. So if I were to push, look there, now I'm putting more pressure, and you can see it gets picked up very, very nice and accurately by the software and in the sim, of course. So that is what that second stage of braking is. You get the elastomer part, which is this part, and then you get that metal on metal part. Now, you can manipulate this in the software to your advantage, you know, so that you technically can be a better driver. And I'll show you how to do that in a momento. Here we are in the simulator, and we're going to do a brake test. Now, the way I like to do brake tests is I like to push the brake down all the way to like 90%, and then just let the, you know, it relax slowly and see if I can hold it all the way down to like number 1, you know. That's a good way of seeing if there's any big drops, for example, in the pressure of the brake. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. You can see I'm just slowly relaxing my foot, and you can see there's no big chunks, no big drops. I mean, this thing is super, super accurate. Just as I'm letting my foot off, you can see I can go all the way. Let me just make this a bit quicker, and all the way and hold it at 1. Look at that. I literally can hold it there at 1 or 2, which is fantastic. Now, one thing I absolutely love, and I mean I love about the Invictas, is that, second stage of braking. Now, I actually found here in these new Invictas that there's 2 stages almost. I'm going to show you here. So my first stage, now I can dial this out. A lot of people won't like this. See this flimsiness of a pedal, that first bit there. A lot of people might not like that. You can stiffen that out. But I like it because if I push down, you'll see I'm quite comfortably at about the 10. Look here. I know there because there's that little stop there where now the elastomer comes into play. Look at that. And just around, 10, 12, around there, the mark, every time I'm braking and I want to just have that little bit of brake, I can just push that little bit down and it's like a little stop there. As you can see, just a little stop. And I can do this blind, you know what I mean? Like, look at. Do it again. I mean, that is fantastic. And then, obviously, you get that second stage, or well, yeah, the second stage of braking, when the elastomer is completely compressed and you now metal on metal. So that is my second stage. And you can see there, right around 70 mark, it just pops over there to the 80, but, it settles at about the 70, which is fantastic. And again, the amazing thing is almost like a little cheat code, knowing exactly when you hit that second stage that you are at this brake pressure. It is something I try and replicate in every other pedal set I have, including, active pedals and all that. And you know what? I don't think any of them do as good of a job at that just abrupt feeling of, yes, I'm now at that amount of brake pressure. Yeah, again, blindfolded. I can hit that same spot every single time. And I mean, that there, when it comes to brakes, is what you want. That is phenomenal, just knowing, okay, yeah, I'm there. I remember when I had the Asetek V3s, the little rumblers on the back. I used to set that up in the software so that when I hit, for example, 80%, that then, the rumblers start, rumbling. So yeah, I personally think maybe it's, the amateur in me, Asetek says they do that to replicate a real race car. So when you're at that max, it's like feeling the brake discs. Also something I find that the Asetek Invictas do phenomenal. It's just this low. See, for example, if I just want to put a little bit of pressure to be able to get that extra bit of turning in the car, I just find it is so much easier in these. I don't know why. It's just so nice and easy to control the brake, even at, those lower pressures, like below 10. I cut that too much? No. Did not get it off track. But yeah, a perfect corner here will be this T1 in Monza. Okay, coming up to the 150, hard on the brake, bleeding down. Just again, slowly, Eddie. Woohoo! Oh, that's much nicer. That is much nicer. Okay, yeah, we've got the Asetek software, and yeah, I love their pedal software. It is very easy to understand, very easy to use. The only thing I would have wanted here is maybe just over here some profiles that I can save. That way I don't have to remember these things off my head. What things am I talking about? One of the fantastic things is this pressure over here. So at the moment in my pedal, my elastomer there, I believe is a yellow elastomer, and I've got the short travel kit fitted. My I calibrated my pedal to 45 bars, and I like using this for like the Porsche Cup car. When I'm braking and I hit that second stage of braking, I know I'm at about 70%, 75% thereabouts of brake pressure. So let me show you. So pushing down, hit that second stage, and every time I hit that second stage, I'm thereabouts around the 70% mark. But let's say now I go drive the Mazdas, or if you're American, the Miatas, okay? And yeah, you can brake them cars a lot harder in a straight line. You can go, let's say, up to 90%. So then what I would do is I would just lower. I would hit calibrate here, and I would make this about 35 bar, if I remember right. 36, I think it was, to be... Okay, and now when I hit that second stage of braking, I should be at about 85%. Oh, yeah. Okay. See what I mean? Now I'm braking, I'm not pushing any harder down with my leg. I'm using exactly the same brake pressure. So I don't need to, learn new muscle memory for, where the car's tires lock up if I brake too hard. And then let's say, for example, I drive the LMP3 cars. On that, I even wanted lower than the Porsche. I wanted it about 60-65%. And it's been a while, but if I remember right, now I'm going to go harder because, I'm going to go to about 55 bars if I remember correct. Okay, and now my brake pressure should be around pushing exactly the same, should be around the 60-65% mark. So yeah, about the 60. I could probably dial that down to 54 bars to get it that little bit more to this. Let's do 53. Yeah. That gets me to that, you can see, to that sweet spot of around 64, 65. And that's what I want. That is perfect. It's one of the big selling things, what I think about the Invictas. If you use it right and you make a little list and you say, okay, on this car, I like this brake pressure, and you can just come here without changing elastomers or anything. You can very easy just quickly adjust this, calibrate this, and you're off and away. Now, like I said, what would be amazing, Asetek, is if you have a little list, on the side here, where I can just save a profile. And then that way, let's say I change cars, and even more amazing if it could do it automatically. But, let's just say, for example, to start off with a profiles, and I'll be able to click on there and say, okay, that's my Porsche car, this is my LMP3 car, this is a Mazda car, whatever I'm driving, I can have it, and then that way I can just quickly click on it and off and away. I don't have to do this whole calibrating and especially remembering, how many bars it takes to be where. But I think this is a huge selling point. See the second stage of braking, like I said, I try and replicate that in every single set of pedals I have here because it's just it's fantastic knowing when you're getting to that brake threshold. It is an advantage. I don't want to say it's a cheat because it's not cheating, but it is definitely an advantage compared to your plain linear pedals as just a spring with no indication when you're hitting, your desired brake pressure. Anyway, grand job, Asetek. My conclusion, what do I think about these Asetek Gen 2 Invictas? Listen, Asetek has took an already fantastic set of pedals and they've enhanced it. And I absolutely love this set of pedals. That second stage of braking, I think is just I absolutely love it. I've got a set of hydraulic pedals I'm testing here now. And yeah, the first thing I noticed when I started testing them, I was like, I don't have that second stage of braking. I really do love it. The fact that you don't need to be Superman to be able to get to that second stage of braking. And yeah, Andre, the CEO, he jokes, we've made it lighter for people who skip leg day.
To make it easier to press for those of you who skipped leg day,
listen here. I skip leg day every day. I do practice my forearms every night though, you know. Okay, it looks, I'm talking drinking beer. I promise, I meant drinking beer. Anyway, okay. These pedals here, the fact that they're tested to 1 million inputs, 1 million revolutions. I mean that, you know, I don't think I'll ever get any set of pedals to 1 million inputs. I'm sure Andre has now retired that pumping machine and is now fixed somewhere on his yacht. And yeah, he's busy pumping things on his yacht. That's what I would do if I had a yacht. I'd be pumping non-stop. But we're talking about these Invictas now. Listen, fantastic set of pedals. Very well put together. I really do think they warrant the price tag. You're getting a hydraulic set of pedals that just work. From, you know, all the way from 100% brake pressure all the way to the measly 1% pressure. You tap this pedal and it gets picked up by that sensor. It is fantastic. The fact that in future on these screws over here you'll be able to attach an ABS module, which Asetek has teased us. I don't know when this is coming, I just know it will be coming. And yeah, it is nice, something to look forward to, something that we'll be able to attach on the set of Invictas. 100%. Can I recommend these pedals to you? Yes. I absolutely love them. I don't know which is my favorite Asetek product now, whether it's a Invicta wheelbase or these Invicta pedals. It is really a hard choice now, but I'm going to go to Invicta base. The Invicta base is boss. But then again, these are boss. Anyway, I'm carried on long enough. If you've made it to this far in the video, thank you very much for watching. Please consider subscribing. It will be very much appreciated. And as always, guy, I hope your next race, your next one is a winner. Hallelujah.